thought I'd do a comparison here of two headlines at a time and see if they make sense. March 8th, 2021. Biden to sign executive orders focused on women's rights. August 24th, 2021. Women's rights have an uncertain future in Afghanistan. Wow, you can tell that was really painful for Vox to write that headline. Their full-time job is to lie for Joe Biden and the Democratic Party. April 9th, 2021. Here's what President Biden's gun control executive orders mean. August 21st, 2021. Rifles, Humvees, and millions of rounds of ammo. Taliban celebrate their new American arsenal. So Joe Biden will make sure that legal American gun owners are treated as the enemy. But for the actual enemy of America, Biden turns over a giant arsenal. Photographs and videos showing Taliban fighters carrying U.S.-supplied M4 carbines and M14 rifles. Joe Biden probably thinks those are AR-14s. Joe Biden doesn't want you to carry around an M4 or M16, but he'll make sure the Taliban does. Finally, this one is still a lingering question to me. August 7th, 2021. Biden says Kabul's fall to Taliban not inevitable. August 11th, 2021. Taliban could take Afghan capital within 90 days after rapid gains. It's difficult to establish a precise timeline for when the White House had this intelligence report or this intelligence warning. But it's generally at the same time that President Joe Biden is claiming that the Taliban's not going to win. This raises several questions. Was Joe Biden lying so as to give the Kabul government more time? But if he was lying to protect the Kabul government and lying to give civilian employees and contractors and diplomats more time to evacuate, why didn't that seem to be the priority? If I were to guess, and we may not know this for many months or many years from now, I would guess that this intelligence report was handed to Joe Biden and his team back in May, and that they discussed it and they approached the problem from a purely political standpoint. The assessment of the Biden team, which Joe Biden apparently signed off on, was that it didn't matter if the Taliban took over all of Afghanistan, because all that Team Biden needed to do was to blame Donald Trump for entering into negotiations with the Taliban in the first place. But it appears that that political angle ended the discussion and ended all planning on the part of the Biden administration. The Biden administration did not seem to care about any of the women and children in Afghanistan. They didn't care of the Taliban being armed with American weapons. And they didn't seem to care about what it would look like for a panicked evacuation of all diplomats, U.S. contractors, and U.S. civilians, not to mention the Afghans that work for the United States in Afghanistan. So none of that mattered to the Biden team. All that mattered was the optics. All that mattered was how they could spin it to politically blame a man who's already out of office, Donald Trump. If that's the sole priority of everyone working at the Biden White House, these people are not competent. None of these people should retain their jobs, and that includes the boss himself. If this is your only priority, blaming the last president and not planning for anything that happens because of what you do through your inaction, you're not capable of governing this nation. The priorities of the Biden administration just seem to be optics and spin. Let's go after legal American gun owners. Never mind that the Taliban is now heavily armed with American weapons. Let's pretend that Biden is a champion of women's rights. Never mind that he just consigned every single woman and girl in Afghanistan to a life with no rights. Women in Afghanistan have lost every right they had thanks to Joe Biden. Yet all that mattered to that team was conjuring up silly optics that somehow he was restoring women's rights after the last administration. All that mattered to Biden was he was going to blame legal gun owners for all of the illegal gun violence of illegally obtained guns in American cities on legal gun owners. Reality doesn't matter to these people. All that matters is spinning blame to everyone else. We do not have any adults working in the White House. And as I compare these headlines, the question is, what disaster will the Biden administration unleash on the world and the people of the United States of America next? Thank you.